Hey guys, welcome to the Foundry. It's Bryon and Bryan.
What's up?
We're
What's up?
we're trying a different and let you a little inside baseball talk. We're trying StreamYard, not StreamYard, Riverside FM. And so it's my first time doing the one with a guest, and so there's a little bit of setup on the back end. And so at the end of this, in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to say, hey, this is a great platform to start with, or go find something else. I've had good success as a solo creator on it, but the guest features are interesting. So, that being said, this week, the episode, we're going to talk about why people don't trust marketing anymore. And as marketers, we always have to be cognizant of what trends are. That doesn't always mean we blindly follow the trends, but we got to be aware of what people are doing and how people are reacting to the messaging that's coming out. And so that's why we're tackling this one. So, Bryan, I'll let you get started on it, man. And I'll jump in.
You can just jump right in.
Okay.
People aren't rejecting marketing itself. They're not afraid of marketing, or they're not like pissed off at marketers, so to speak. Some people are, but it's not marketing itself. It's more of like they reject the feeling of being manipulated, right? And the broken promises, clickbait stuff that you click on something, you read a story, it's like that's not what the headline said. Nothing matches up. And they're just tired of the experiences that don't match the message, right? So what we kind of want to talk about today is, that feeling that people hate, that they hate being sold to in a way that feels disconnected from reality, that inauthentic, I don't know, vibe that can come off. Car salesman walking into Target, you got the cell phone guys trying to pitch to you when I got my daughters with me, and we're just trying to walk through to get some, whatever. And they're following us through aisles and whatnot, like that's not cool. And that's sales, but I lump that into a customer experience and marketing process. Buyers are a lot smarter now, internet's here. It's been around for a while now. And I just think people are tired. They're tired of crap. Like, let me ask you this. When's the last time, you saw something or witnessed something that was just immediately marketing and immediately made you skeptical? Do you have something that pops out to you? Because I have one if you want me to start. But
I've got a couple. Let's hear yours, because I got thinking of mine.
I immediately get it when I see like pharmaceutical commercials, right? Like those are the fakest things I've ever seen in my entire life. They present these things. I got a real distaste for the medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry, but they portray these things, and then they always have a list of all these side effects that are like including death, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Wait, did I hear that right? That kind of stuff. And that vibe is what I despise about marketing. And I'm a marketer. So
Right.
if you guys listen to us in any of our last 4, 5, 6 episodes or whatever, we talk about authenticity a lot. And I think we can do a whole episode on authenticity and what it actually looks like in today's world, but that's what you need. So that's the last time I seen it. I just seen it this morning. I was watching news and I saw some pharmaceutical commercial that happened to.
For me, I think it comes down to, I don't like the stealth marketing stuff, and maybe it might be just because I'm a marketer, and I talk about it a lot, the entire concept of like a lot of camera review channels, and I watch them. I'm a consumer of those channels, but you're being marketed to. And it was really egregious. I was on Facebook and somebody posted, this is the perfect camera for creators, for content creators.
You showed me this.
Yeah.
That's right.
For entry-level content creators. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, he might be talking about Osmo, or we were talking about what Zen or the Muse or whatever. That's basically an Osmo Pocket for a little bit cheaper. Nope, he pulls out a Sony FX, which is a cinema camera. I mean, it's entry level, but it's a cinema camera. It is a full frame cinema camera that you can shoot, some basic cinema stuff, some B-roll and stuff. You would see them on movie sets as kind of the disposable camera. But for you and for me, these are $3,000 cameras. And it has all the settings and all the bells and whistles on it. Now I know it's not a complete cinema camera because it doesn't you can't fix the shutter angle or any of that other stuff. But
right.
That's what the function, that's how Sony is sending, they're selling it as their Cine line. And I'm sitting there looking at it like, this is ridiculous. And it was a marketing thing because he had an affiliate link in there. And I get it, but it's like, go make your money, man. But that you can't recommend this camera to somebody who's just starting out. That will absolutely chase them off of whatever they're trying to do, because the learning curve with a cinema camera, a full frame cinema camera, because not only you have to know ISO and all the other stuff, but then there's a bunch of dials on there. You have to figure out your shutter speed. You got to figure out what lens you're going to buy, because the kit lens is not going to be good enough to shoot the content you see on YouTube. And I think that kind of marketing is really, I think it takes advantage of people and takes advantage of people not knowing, because it wasn't just me who had videography, me as a person that has some videography experience. Other videographers were kind of chiming in and saying, this is a ridiculous suggestion for people that are just starting out. They don't need all of this.
Like you're immediately skeptical because you're like, this can't be serious. This is too wrong to be serious, right?
Right. And the people, and even the normal people, even the people that weren't camera folks, they were like, $3,000. I guess I must be poor then. And
right.
And I was like, you're not poor, but that's not expensive. If you're in the camera world and dedicated cameras, that's not expensive. But most of us have no need for a dedicated camera like that bulky, or that with that many features and stuff like that. And so it's overkill. And yeah, $3,000 is a lot for a person that's never purchased a brand new camera before, and brand new dedicated camera body, specifically full frame. Full frame has the most expensive lenses.
Right.
Like there's so many other things that go into it, and you don't know. You probably could go get that body at used at KEH and save yourself like $150.
Right.
I mean, off of 3,000 is not like great, but still. So that turns me off, because now you're playing on the fact that people don't know, and you're using the idea of, they see these creators on YouTube and they want to emulate them, and they're thinking, well, this creator said that he uses this camera, so I'm going to jump in there and use this camera. No, you're not. Right. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah. I think, and it's wild, because some of the greatest, some of the most watched creators are the ones that I like the most, because they'll talk crap about that kind of behavior. Like, they get all the free cameras, they do reviews too, but they're like, meh, I'll stick with this. We were talking about Casey Neistat, you and I, yesterday, and that guy's rolling around with, I don't know exactly what it is now, but it's probably either his 360 cam, which is like an Insta360, or some sort of action cam, like a DJI Action or something like that. And he doesn't even talk about that stuff. For him, it's about story and stuff like that. I think the point you're trying to make and I'm trying to make is that people's bullshit radars are on full functioning on lock, right?
Right.
Nowadays. So they've seen every funnel hack trick, the 3 spots left,
Yeah. Oh,
fake testimonials.
The webinar, the live webinar that's not live.
Right. And all these agencies and stuff that come across, and they got courses and software and gurus and this stuff. And you and I have talked about that a bunch, where you can be on TikTok and there's some guru selling some sort of course, and people are just, it's a meme at this point, like, to do a course, which is unfortunate, because, and this is kind of what I want to get into, for people like you and I that are really trying to help people and really trying to fix problems or give people services that they actually need, that can grow and scale their business, right? These types of marketing agencies or gurus or course providers, they put out these, sorry, I'm throwing shade, but like they put out these things and they don't know anything. They've gone to ChatGPT. They got this thing listed out, said, hey, ChatGPT, I want to put out a course on TikTok about XYZ. Help me how to lay this out exactly. And that's what they put out. They have no experience. They have no knowledge of how to piece this together. They don't understand that every business is different, right? So that's why you, I don't want to speak for you, but you shut down how you're doing your agency. I've changed extremely what I do in my agency, or how I approach it. And I've approached it from the standpoint of, let's look at what's going on between where you have customer intent and money exchanges hands. And I kind of fix what's broken in between those 2 points.
Yep.
Rather than, hey, I'm a marketing agency that does websites and SEO and blah, 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 and all this other crap that is crap at this point.
And I'm on, and that's kind, and I'm on, and like you said, we're on the same page, because the other side is I'm turned off by the marketing agencies that will sell you a website before they even know if you need a website. And, because that's the highest ticket thing they can sell you at that time is a website, and all the add-ons and other, features, that the retainers and stuff like that, and it's not website designers necessarily. You get what I'm saying? It's a
Right.
marketing
Yeah. Yeah.
agency selling you a website. It's not a website designer who you're going to specifically to get a website designed, and then they're selling you that stuff. This is a marketing agency, like, well, first thing you need is a website. Well, do they have a Google profile? Do they have a Facebook profile? What
Mm-hmm.
social media are they active on? What are they going to
Yeah.
use the website for? Do they need a storefront? Do they need a digital storefront? Okay. Can we accommodate that through Shopify? Do they need their own? Is it user friendly? Like, none of these questions ever occur. They're just going to sell you a website. They're going to sell you into a website.
And I wanted to like, I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about this earlier, as I was like, okay, so Bryan's kind of doing the same thing with video and content and media, right? I said, you're trying to get away from like this, I don't know, this typical video production agency, for lack of a better way to say it, and more focus on how do I teach people to create authentic content, and how do I also provide a frictionless environment for them to
Right.
do so.
Right.
So those of you who don't know, Bryan is kind of growing this media room business where he will go to your spot, help you set up. Correct me on any of this if I'm wrong, but go to your spot and set it up, or you're trying to get an actual studio built where they can come in and shoot their content, or you also provide some sort of teaching of all those things. Is that kind of the three pillars of what you do? So my point is, you're trying to make people create content that's authentic rather than this overproduced, tapey, cringy, corporate, lean, polished, all the words that seem gross to me today, that present fakeness and bullshit to people. So sorry,
You're
I
up.
went on a rant there.
That's exactly what it is. For me, I see that a lot of times, specifically in the marketing agency world, a lot of times businesses will hire these marketing agencies, and the marketing agencies won't ask them like the questions and really try to get into their brain or anything. The marketing agencies will take this company and slap their template of marketing on top of this company and market them just like they marketed every other company that they market in. So their website looks similar to 50 other websites. Their messaging looks similar to 50 other social media platforms, and they're recycling a lot of content and wondering why stuff isn't connecting. I'm not saying that you can't buy content online and pre-fill, like if you're in a specific industry, like you're a plumber, you join a place where they have lots of pre-made plumbing posts. I'm not saying you don't do that sometimes, but where it's you're a plumber, but I'm gonna market you like you're a bakery, and I'm gonna give you the same thing that the bakery got.
Right.
And a lot of marketing agencies are doing that just because it saves time. It's
Yeah.
faster for them.
And I think that's the incorrect process, and I think you know that too. Because what I would do, let's just run with this for a little bit. Let's take a plumber, and I would say, what makes this plumber different than every other plumber?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to authentically figure out. Well, first, I would do my part, which is like, okay, what's broken in your business right now between you getting a call and you actually finishing a job and getting paid. That's where I work in. But then from your standpoint, from the content standpoint, it's like, how do I make this guy look different, or how do I make him be authentically him on social media where he can get some eyeballs, not every other plumber, because
Yeah.
Jim Bob is different than Ricky, right? And Jim Bob's from Alabama, Ricky's from New York, right?
Right.
I can tell you right now, those two pieces of content should always be different, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what you have to like learn as a business owner, and that's what I'm for. That's what Bryan's for. I'm not here to pitch our businesses like that, but like,
Yeah. I am. The Foundry is where you're going to learn
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah,
I
for
think
real.
And I think that's kind of the thing. That's what we're saying. For me, the play I would approach it, and this is why the Foundry is great, because Bryan and I have approaches that are similar but different enough where we're going to hit all the bases. My approach would be sitting down with Ricky and Jim Bob. With Ricky, I'd say, who's your best clients? Who are your repeat clients? who do you have the least friction with? Do you have any client that stands out in mind? Okay. Tell me more about that client. What questions did you ask them? What was the experience like? All right. So this is the client we're going to base a lot of our stuff around, and we're going to try to draw in more of them. And who do you work best with? Is there a specific niche? Do you like to do commercial plumbing versus residential? We're going to explore and really laser and dial in that message to make it unique. Hey, hey man, I talked to you. You have a great charismatic personality. We need to get you on a camera. And we need to get you, we could put in your workflow, the client sign a little bit of a waiver, you toss them a little bit of a discount on a service, and you can use them as content to promote your business. Like, these kind of things are how I perceive serving a client, where we dial in the marketing and make it really tailor-made to who they are and who they want to serve. Because I think we have too much of the shotgun blast kind of marketing. And we also have too much of that, like, vapid, generic, sterile, you look like everybody else who's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And for me, that marketing message doesn't connect.
Yeah.
I see it on. You were talking about the TikTok guy, right? I saw a young man, and I love his hustle. I love his hustle.
I respect the hustle. I do respect the hustle.
I love his hustle. And he puts videos on Facebook, and he's like, and if you want to blow up your Insta, this is what you do. This is the exact workflow you use. Boom, 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 boom. And he lays it out, and then he upsells you to a course. I get it. I understand. I literally just had one of my TikToks like go viral. I have no idea what made it go viral. I don't know. It doesn't make me an expert on TikTok virality. I just know I had one that went viral. And has it changed my life in any measurable way? I got a couple more subscribers. Right. I'm up to 200 some odd subscribers on the TikTok channel. That's kind of a hobby. But I think that's where my frustration point comes in, is somebody will go on there, they'll post a video, and it'll go viral. Now, check out my course on how I went viral. Yeah. They don't even know how they went viral.
Right. So, and that goes perfect into one of our segments here, which is those trend, I'll call them trends. Those marketing trends work for a little while, but then the same thing happens every single time. Same hook, same pain points, same CTA structures, right? Same problem solution formula. We help X do Y, that kind of language. That those formulas you start seeing. Like, I remember Peak Creative is one of the first ones to do the kind of style that they did, and they put a whole course out. It went like gangbusters. They did fantastic with the course. But now I see everything, even locally here in the Omaha Metro. All the videos, they're marketing agencies that are doing them, or video agencies that are putting out these same identical formulated kind of quick moving, kind of funny a little bit ads that they run. And it's like, okay, now you're going to take that and you're just going to template it and put it on top of whatever business. And I understand the formula. I understand the hooks, the speed, the attention, the psychology. I understand it, but now everybody's doing it. So now it's you get fatigue from it. You get ad fatigue of the same formulas, right? So we need to figure out, and this is my approach, and I think it's Bryan's approach too, because this never dies, right? Is what makes your message feel human, right? What makes you you? Why can Casey Neistat put out a video only 3-4 times a year now, when he's been in the game for, I don't know, 15 years, and still have 5 million people watch it? He ain't put out a video in 3-6 months and 5 million people jump when he does.
Yeah.
It's because he's him. That's authentically him. That's it. There's nothing, you're going to get a good story, whatever.
Well, and he basically he created the entire format that a lot of modern YouTubers are using today.
Correct.
With the awkward cuts and, the kind of Dutch camera angles and stuff, and intentionally using unstabilized footage and things along those lines. Like, it put in all that stuff. And like, even you're talking about what these marketing agencies are doing. I could sit down and watch their video. Okay, we're going to have a jump cut. They're going to get right into the topic with the hook. Okay, now they got the hook. Now we're going to have one of them zooms in real quick, and it's going to shift. A zoom transition is going to shift to something else. They're going to start showing their testimonials. They're going to give you something that you can use, and then they're going to give you a call to action. And I could kind of walk through the flow of it. I'm not saying it's bad, because that's a very effective way to do it. I'm saying that the way they implement it is not, it's a template, it's the templated way to do it. And it's not necessary, because templates are great. You know, you want your heart surgeon to kind of follow a template of
Yeah.
how they're supposed to do certain things.
I want the pilot to do his same checklist every
Yeah.
time. Don't miss a thing.
I don't want him to say, you know what, guys, I'm gonna try something. Wait, what? You never want to be going under. You never want to have the mask on and you're going under with they're putting you under for surgery, and then you hear the doctor say, you know what, I think I'm gonna try something this time. It's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try something new today.
But
not on me, you're not.
I think there has to be a mix of, you can use templates as long as you show up as you. And I think the problem is, a lot of business owners that I've encountered, they've kind of at their wits end with marketing, and they've tried a bunch of trends, and the trends didn't return right away, so they end up abandoning them real quick. And so by the time they come to us, and this is why I want to shut down the agency, by the time they come to me, by the time they come to Bryan, they just want to shut their brain off and have marketing done to them and for them. And I'm telling you guys, if you're a business owner, that is a non-starter. For the clients that you want, they're going to pay you money. That's a non-starter. You cannot just hand over complete creative control and take yourself out of your marketing. There has to be an element of your unique personality that is mixed in there, because otherwise it's not going to work.
And it's been a pet peeve of mine for probably the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like there's always this education thing I have to do because people have been burned and they got scar tissue for, agencies that vanished after signing, software they never actually adopted and used, funnels that never really converted because they stuck them in some sort of templated funnel because that's what, sorry, Russell, but that's what Russell Brunson did, and it worked for him, so it's going to work for you. And
getting
websites
sold
that look great but change nothing,
getting sold into the personal one, getting sold into a go high level template, and the person that sold it to me, the owner of the business, doesn't even know how the damn thing works, where they're upselling features and they can't even explain to me how this thing works here. And it's like, well, why did you say that this thing integrates here if this doesn't integrate neatly with the website? What you sold me into a go high level backend where I can create my own website, but it doesn't integrate with the website that you created through go high level for me. What is the point of this? Why am I paying you $150 a month where I could be paying, was it $97 and do the damn thing, roll the damn thing myself, or like I'm doing now, I can just use my AI agent, whip up a website, link it to my Stripe, and then buy a domain and connect it all up. And now I have a usable website. And, I can editing it and changing things on it as simple as just logging on and going to my AI agent. Why do I need all that stuff? And I think that's the main thing. And I think the other thing is, I think we talked, or did we go into it? The overproduction kills the belief.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Over polishing and stuff like that. We talked about that, being the authentic. And
I'm a wrestling nerd, and so I listen to like the old Jim Cornette, podcast. He was the manager for the Midnight Express, one of the great tag teams of the 80s down south and stuff. And one of the things he mentioned was, he's like, one of the reasons why wrestling isn't connecting with the audience the way it used to, like, it's making more money now than ever, but the audiences are kind of hip to everything. It's like, it looks too clean, it looks too polished. He's like, there was a layer of grime and grit on the old school Southern Georgia Championship, NWA, early WCW wrestling, Jim Crockett Productions. Like, there was a layer of grime on there where there was an authenticity where you're like, this might be real. I mean, to the fact that they got the fans to invest in it to the point where they started a riot down in Atlanta, I think at the Omni, and the fans were trying to climb the cage to physically rip Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen apart because of what they did to Dusty Rhodes. The fans were trying to kill them, and they were like, "This is amazing! These people are trying to kill us! Like, we got them!"
That's wild.
But it doesn't look like overproduced and slick. So now when you go turn on WWE or whatnot, it's high polished, high contrast. The production looks amazing. The camera angles look amazing. And they've gotten to the point where they actually have to put in more generic, non-stage looking camera angles to get people to invest in it again. And that's what we're talking about. Too much production. A show that's overly polished and too well polished is a turnoff.
Yeah, 100%. And every bad experience with this, like every every bad experience someone has, it just leaves scars for them. And it just bringing it back to like our businesses and your businesses, it's every bad buying experience makes people trust slower.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it so much harder to get every customer the farther along you get in the journey of like being burned by marketing in general. Like how many times you've been sold something on a Facebook ad of a place that it's a restaurant or whatever, and you go in and like the food looks nothing like the video.
Yeah.
The service looks nothing like the happy people in the video.
The restaurant doesn't even look the same. It looks like a
Right.
completely different place.
And you're like, what is going on? And then it's just, you're like, I'm never going back there.
How many times have you been watching a video, scrolling through your doom scrolling through your Facebook, and it's a prank video, but you're sitting there watching, and it's like, so they didn't see the camera sitting over there? Like they didn't, like the person that you're pranking didn't see there's a big camera and a light sitting over in the corner.
Right.
Like, you know, the camera's not hidden. You're not wearing a body cam. It doesn't look like the camera's hidden. And like they looked dead at the camera. That people are seeing, and I have to stress this so hard. People are seeing through this, guys. If you are a business owner and this is the kind of content you're in, people are seeing straight through this. I don't mind you guys doing the fun stuff, but I think people are going to engage more with your content if they feel like they're really getting you and not you just copying something else you saw somebody else do.
Fun and funny and entertaining is great if it's done intentionally.
Yeah.
For whatever your brand is, right? And I think we need to stress, because you and I have talked about authenticity a lot, but we need to approach it as not a content style. It's not a style. It's the main, it's not an aesthetic, right? It's the main point. It's to be you, whatever that means, right? Make the message match. You know, if a headline says something, make sure your content matches that. And I believe wholeheartedly, and I don't know your thoughts on this, but like I think founder led content is the best for a business, at least starting out.
It is.
You know, if you're big enough to have people that can be great on camera, and you know, that's a whole different story. I still believe in founder led content as like the best approach to content.
If you're in one of those industries where your outcomes are determined by how many employees you have or how many good staff you're able to recruit, you're in one of those kind of business models. If you're struggling to get employees, the best thing you can do is teach people about how to get into your business. How do you get started? You know, how do you get started in real estate? How do you get started, you know, running, you know, a home cleaning service? How do you get started in these spaces? You teach people the best practices to get started. People consume those videos more than anything else. They may never open up their own, but they'll go work for somebody else who has one. Again, showing, I hate to say it, but sometimes you do need to show how the sausage is made. I watch sausage making channels all the time because I like watching barbecue videos. So yeah, I do want to know how the sausage is made in a lot of cases. And if you aren't scared to show that level of practiced vulnerability, you're going to go really far. Now, I'm not saying that you show yourself at your worst moments, because there's such thing as being too much like, ooh, I don't really need to see your interpersonal family drama on here. Like, I don't need to see all that. You know, I know the Kardashians have really leveraged that with the stagey fake family drama that's going to promote a product or brand or something. But we don't need to see your worst moments. We don't need you to overshare things. But there's a balance. Show who you really are.
Yeah.
And leave the mistakes in, you know.
Yeah, leave them. Show when something goes wrong, it's okay. You know, show what happens when something goes wrong and how you fix it. And obviously, if something doesn't feel right to post, don't post it. That's not what we're saying. We're saying like, but show the failures and then what you learned from them, and that really resonates with people. I mean, that's what I'm learning more. I'm trying to do this super polished content, and it's just not working out how I wanted. So I was discussing with Bryan the other day about how it's just time to sit down, look the camera right in the eye, and just do it and put out the content I want. And someone said it to me a while ago, but when you start getting the reps in, you know, you need to do it like a gym. That muscle gets stronger and you get better and you get faster and you get, you know, you find ways to produce better content and you find ways to edit it faster and post it faster and you find out what works better, you know, but you can't do it. You can't get the reps in if you don't put the reps in, right?
Right. You can't. And so like, here's a good example. So I happened to pop open, and if it slows down, guys, I have another tab open, so just forgive me for that one. I popped open MKBHD, one of the tech YouTuber. Like he's the tech YouTuber. He is he's the one that codifies the space and everybody kind of follows what they do. follows
He's
what he
the
does.
Apple of
Yeah, of tech YouTube. Him and Unbox Therapy are the guys. And I'm looking at the videos that are most popular for him, and a lot of them are 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. And it's before he was as polished as he is now. That goes to tell you that his more polished videos, now that he's perfected it, aren't performing on the same level as the ones where he was still kind of figuring things out. I'm not saying the videos are bad. I'm not saying that they're they're of a lesser quality, but they're not as polished. He has less of his team around him, and those videos are outperforming his current stuff. His most popular videos, the earliest one I saw was 2 years, and it's sometimes time has something to do with it, but the way the numbers are stacking up, it still seems like some of his older videos are still outperforming his newer ones,
Right.
and it's because he wasn't as polished as he is now. And I think there is an event horizon. I think Casey Neistat has it kind of figured out. I think Peter McKinnon's kind of figuring the thing out. If you keep showing up too often, you end up getting too polished. You get too siloed into a message. And once you get to a certain level in the YouTube space, you step back and do more content that has a higher level of intent.
Yeah, Peter McKinnon did a real good video recently. I think just like the last month or so. And the whole premise of the video is I miss the old Pete.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sad, actually, the whole premise of it. But like, yeah, the grind is, you don't know it when you're doing it, but it's what makes you good and real.
Mm-hmm. I think, and I've seen pieces of it. It's almost like he ended up becoming a character in his own videos, and I think that's kind of where he goes with it. Like I said, I see, Gary V has a strong layer of, even when he's BSing, that's kind of that's his personality, and it still shines through. And he's not really putting on, like, there's no incongruency between his old videos and his new videos. You're going to get who you get, but some people, when they're really into the creative side of the process and the artistic side of it, they end up stepping back a little bit so that they don't end up becoming characters in their own promotions. And so you don't want to be you want to control the side of it, because again, you never want to forget that this is still a marketing video, right? You never want to forget what your intent is to show up. But yeah, I do a lot of raw live streams. More times than not, when I'm recording, I'm not big into record video, edit video, post video. I'm live stream video, edit video, repost the video, because I feel like for me, the live stream is how you capture me at my most authentic best.
That's fair.
And that's the format I like to use. All the stumbles and rambles and tangents and all that other stuff. That's how you're going to capture me at my best. If you don't want all that stuff, then I can give you a stripped down, edited version of that video so that you can consume my stuff without all that extra stuff in there, without all the fluff on top of it. But
right.
I like that layer of realness. And I think maybe that explains why live streaming is such a big thing. Like, because we talked about the trends, right? Kids are trying to get away from their phones, but also the content they consume is live streaming, and if it's not live, they don't want to watch it.
Yeah, and that's real, because it's reality in a sense. Like, you can't hide. I mean, you could fake it and be an actor or an actress in front of the live stream. I get that, but like, it's really hard to be inauthentic on live streams, because it's going to come through. Because I'm with you. Like, we do these every week now, and there's a lot of stumbling, and ADHD gets the best of both of us, and we go off on super tangents. So everybody's aware, we have massive show notes every week, right? All segmented out and all that stuff. We've never stuck to them once.
Yeah, we jump around.
We will look at them. We'll pull stuff from them, but that's okay. That's just us. That's authentically Bryan and myself. So I think maybe to wrap this up today in a pretty little bow for everybody is that what actually earns trust nowadays, right? So I'm just going to list off some like trust building things, and a little test for you live here, Bryan. Like, how many of these things do you think come out in live streams? I'm just curious. This just popped into my head. So some of the trust builders are clear point of view, specific stories, real examples, transparent process, honest limitations, visible founder presence, consistency over time, human language, no bait and switch. I'm reading these and I'm going, all of them.
All of them. Because you can't fake it. When the camera's rolling, you cannot fake it. And people are watching you in live. You can't fake it. And again, your exposure to people, that kind of educates how they're going to take you. right? And if you show up as this inauthentic being on their video screen, they're going to perceive your services and the quality you deliver as inauthentic too. It kind of trains them. It trains them. You're training your next interaction with them. And so that's why it's like, show up as you. There's a discongruency if you are a business owner and you show up on videos and you're all polished and buttoned up, and then you come into the store and you're dropping F-bombs and you're not buttoned up in your store, but you're having a good time. If they don't see that version of you in the marketing, when they walk into the store or restaurant or whatever, they're going to be like, holy shit. And this is not what brought me here. I thought I was going to get order and I stepped into chaos, or vice versa. I thought I was going to get more of a chaotic thing and it's super buttoned up. Ugh.
Yeah. Right. I think I just had a wave of ideas come over my brain as you were talking there, where like I think people need to embrace the live streaming thing a little more, including myself. I never know what to like talk up. I mean, I don't have a show, so I'm like, I could do live streaming of me working, but that's kind of boring. It's just my face, and because I can't show a lot of stuff is my problem, like on screen, because there's a lot of NDAs and stuff like that I mess with, and I can't show people's business info and stuff. So it's kind of hard when I do that. But like I'm thinking like a retail spot should be doing like their own version of Whatnot, you know? And I could see a restaurant, like think of a restaurant. You have a live stream camera going when you're cooking during the rush, and it comes across, because live feeds and videos like that, they get hot placement in people's feeds.
Yep.
So say I'm looking at Facebook and I see like a coffee shop and they're doing their cafe, you know, and they're serving breakfast, and you're just watching them cook, right? You're not on camera. This is like up in the corner somewhere in the restaurant. They're just showing, you know, the live feed of the chef or whatever. And you're like, ooh, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm gonna roll down there real quick, grab some breakfast, stuff like that. The live selling, that's huge, and anybody wants to like get on that train, you should, because I think that's massive for retail shops to start getting on there, and people, you know, we're just doing a live selling blitz or something, and you know, I got this going on and this going on, and the first people to come in or buy, you can buy it from this link right here, whatever. I think that's huge, and I don't know how I'm getting on the live stream tangent, but I just think it's a really quick path to getting video online for yourself and your business.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the live selling thing is huge. Like if you have things that, you know, where people are interested, like, you know, we talk about collectibles, cards and things along those lines. Restaurants can be good. You got to be careful, make sure your chef is ready for prime time. Make sure that whoever's running the kitchen is ready for prime time, but that can work. There's so many different layers to this. But real quick to wrap up, I want to leave the group with a couple of assignments here. If you're watching, one, and this is assignment for all of us, I want you to go to Casey Neistat's website and look at it. I want you to just look at it. Bryan, you might want to take a look at it because it might surprise you on how his website
Been a minute.
up. Yeah. Because he is outperforming with his website, and his website doesn't not meet any of the conventions that you're going to see in website design. None. Two, join the Foundry. If you like if this marketing stuff connects with you and you're looking for that level of authenticity and you're trying to figure out your authentic voice, you're trying to figure out how to show up. And then once you figure out how to show up, how to repeatedly show up and put a system in place, the Foundry is the place for you to be. We want you in there because that gives us an opportunity to work directly with you. You can ask us questions directly. It's the new way that we want to consult. And so, you know, we don't want, you know, we don't want the big, huge, the retainers are nice, but we'd rather have ongoing conversation with you and kind of be able to take you under the wing and spoon feed you bits and pieces of the marketing, as opposed to just crash coursing it, or you turning your brain off and us just doing marketing for you with nothing about 100%. You in it. So
100%. I think that is the best thing about what I want the Foundry to be, is the fact that there is a question asked and an answer given in some way, shape, or form. And that's what people need the most. Like, they just need someone to say, I don't know what to do. And they need someone to say, well, I've had that problem. You know, Bryan's had that problem. Kevin's had that problem. Jimmy's had that problem. Sandra's had that problem. We all have had the same similar problem. Here's a fix that might work for you. Now go. You know, now go do it. And I think that, plus having some sort of accountability network to help you keep you going, is what the Foundry is really going to pan out to be, is this huge accountability and fix for what ails you on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, you know? So it is consulting, but it's like this new way to do it. It's this communicative, community driven,
Conversational, community driven consulting, as opposed to consultative consulting, where we just book a time and I show up a month and we sit there and talk and small talk for a while. And then
it goes back to what you're just saying.
Yeah.
Like with having some standard template I would consult with to the same one for every single person. That ain't helpful. Not to people that want to join the Foundry.
It's not. So did you get a chance to look at the website?
Yeah.
You see,
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to steal that idea and put it on BryanGesser.com.
Because that's the best. Like, it's engaging. It doesn't waste your time at all.
I clicked the link that says OnlyFans just because I say he don't got no OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And it just goes to a page that says, "Oh my God, could you imagine?"
Yeah. It's an incredible way to present a website. It's minimalist, and I'm not going to hold you guys. It's a super minimalist way to present a website. And Casey Neistat's making millions of dollars. And brands are contacting him constantly for his view and perspective on how to present things. He does a lot of strategy work and stuff like that. That website, he doesn't have anything except links to what you're looking for. And
minimal is I don't even know if that's the right word.
Yeah, it's mini minimal. Like, but it works, and I could see how effective that website. That's why I was like, you guys got to go check it out, because if one of the most popular, highest converting YouTubers on the planet is delivering his website like that and not putting that much level of, I'm not saying that he didn't put thought into this. He probably spent a lot of time thinking about how he's going to present it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that he was going for what is effective for his message. And that's kind of his message. So join the Foundry, go check out that website and sit down and say, wait a minute, could I get away with something like this in my industry? Would that make me stand out? Because I know it would make me stand out if I just said there's nothing on my website except links to, it's basically a landing page, which is fine. Yeah. And it doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. There's not a lot of stuff for you to get distracted. It's a Dan Kennedy principle, right? Keep it simple so people don't get distracted.
Yeah.
So
100%.
All right, guys, that's what we got. You're going to be seeing this on Spotify and things like that. If you're interested in this conversation, jump in the Foundry. We have these kind of conversations all the time. Or wherever you are, give us a like so you can get more content like this served to your feed. Because
if you have questions for either of us as well, just hit us up.
Yeah.
You can find me all over at 531 Labs or Bryan Gesser, and you got Bryan at ISO Words. I mean, we'll put out some links and stuff. We'll get better at the marketing.
Yeah. We'll figure out the marketing side. We're enjoying the talking. So I do appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll get you guys next week.
All right.